In this video, I'll show you how to save thousands of pounds on your energy bills this year for free. Hello and welcome back to Power Up. As we go into 2023, the cost of living crisis is still one of the biggest stresses on UK households. Even after the government intervention, many of us are still going to struggle to pay our energy bills, so reducing your energy use is the key to saving money. Now in this video, I'm going to primarily focus on things you can do for free. In the future, I'll do another video showing some things that you can pay for to increase your energy savings, so please subscribe so you can know as soon as it goes live. Now one of the first things you should focus on is plugging the holes. If you added up all the tiny little holes and cracks around door frames and windows, the average UK house would have a hole the size of a metre squared. That's absolutely massive. It's like the equivalent of having your window open 24/7. And if we saw a window open in the middle of winter, we'd be rushing to close that pretty urgently. Let's head over to the front door. Starting with the front door. If you have a composite door like this, give the handle a pull with the door latched. Does it rattle? If so, the seal might not be fully engaged and you could be losing valuable heat. Now it's very easy to fix. Just open the door and look for these three latching plates. Loosen them with a screwdriver and slide them outwards. Tighten them up and try the door again. It should now feel much firmer and prevent any heat escaping. If you have a more traditional door, make sure the seal around the frame is intact and replace if necessary. While we're still at the front door, another one that I see all the time is a letter half pushed through the box. The brushes will help seal a little, but I can still feel loads of cold air rushing in through the gaps. When you see a letter poking through, grab it as soon as possible. And maybe you can add a little polite note to your front door to remind the post office worker to fully push through any mail. The other key area to focus on is windows. I live in a fairly new house, so the windows are well sealed and energy efficient. If you live in an older house, there may be some gaps that you need to address. Move your hand around the window frame and see if you can feel any cold spots. If you do, you have a hole that needs filling. But as a temporary solution, you can grab some tape and put it over the gap. And if your windows are single glazed, applying some cling film can trap some air and help reduce the heat loss. It's not a pretty solution, but in the cold few months it can save you a fair few quid. And also at the window, you'll notice these little flaps at the top. These are called trickle vents. Now, it may be tempting to completely shut these during the winter, but that would severely reduce the air quality and moisture build up in that room. So I'd advise you to keep them open and only close during very cold or windy days. And my final tip for drafts is to consider using an alternate entry and exit point to your house during the colder months. If your front door leads onto one of the main heated areas of your home, you could lose valuable heat every time you enter and exit the house. If you have a side door or back door that leads into a non-living area like a utility room, try using that door for the winter months to help reduce the amount of heat escaping the house. Now, if you sum up the savings from this first section, we're looking at £160 saving per year. The next big area of saving is your boiler. Your boiler is too hot. A majority of UK households have their boiler set too high. So we mix cold water with our precious expensive hot water to make it more usable. Madness. Luckily, it's fairly simple and quick fix to make and no plumbers needed. If you have a combi boiler, so no hot water tank, it's a one-step process. Head over to your boiler and set the flow temperature to 50 degrees and your hot water temperature to 55 degrees. If you have a boiler and hot water cylinder, it's a two-step process, but it's still really easy. Set your boiler, flow temperature and hot water temperature to 62 degrees. Then head up to your hot water tank and set that thermostat to 60 degrees. Setting it to 60 will prevent any harmful bacteria growing within your hot water tank. Now I promise with these changes, you would hardly notice any difference in the heating and hot water of your home, but you'll save £150 per year. So what are you waiting for? Pause the video and do it now. You join me down at one of my radiators for my next tip. I'm a bit embarrassed to say that I didn't quite know how these valves worked before, but after speaking to a few people, I realised I'm not alone and a lot of people don't actually know. The clue is in the name. They're called thermostatic valves, meaning the number on the side will control how hot your room gets rather than how hot your radiator gets. So setting them at 5 to heat up a room quicker is absolutely pointless. Now the tricky thing is the valves don't actually tell you what temperature they stop at. You have to look at the instructions for your valve to know. So the numbers 1 to 5 correspond to temperature values. Most modern valves in the UK use similar temperature settings. I've set mine to 3.5, meaning when the room reaches a comfortable 22 degrees, the radiator valve will close and it'll stop reheating the room any further. In rooms that we're not using regularly, we'll set the valve to the frost or low setting, rather than shutting it off completely to prevent any damage when it gets very, very cold. It's also important to make sure you keep the doors between the rooms you're heating and not heating closed so you're not wasting valuable heat. And finally, head down to your main thermostat and try turning the temperature down a few degrees. We used to have ours set to 23 and used to walk around in t-shirt and shorts in the winter. But over the last couple of weeks, we've been gradually turning down our thermostat down to 19 degrees, which now feels more comfortable when you're wearing a jumper. So by just tweaking the thermostat and the radiator valves in your house, you could be looking at a £250 saving per year. Now this next tip is big and cosy. The combination of wearing an oversized fleece hoodie, some joggers and double socking will keep you warm even with the heating off. So if you went to extreme, this tip alone would save you £1,000 a year. But I'm not endorsing that. What I'm trying to do is encourage you to think about heating the human rather than the home. When I'm working from home on my own, I'll absolutely leave the heating off and sit in my nice cosy fleece. But in the evenings when all my family's home, I'm not going to make them suffer in the cold. Instead, we all wear slightly warmer clothing and have the heating on much lower, saving us another £200 per year. Oh, getting very toasty now. Now, I'm going to end this video with a lightning round, quite literally. All the tips so far have been gas related, so now I'm going to share you 10 tips to help you save on your electricity bill. Number 1, use a smart plug to turn off devices that are normally set on standby and cause a lot of phantom drain. Number 2, use an electric heater to heat a single room rather than the whole house. Number 3, turn off the lights when you leave the room, and swap them for LED bulbs if you haven't already. Number 5, use your tumble dryer less and air dry your clothes. Number 6, use the built-in timers on your high energy appliances like a dishwasher to make sure they're running overnight on your cheaper tariff. Number 7, stop overfilling your kettle, just fill up for how much you're going to be drinking. Number 8, keep your fridge fully stocked. An empty fridge uses more energy. Number 9, try only using one TV in your house or having some board game/activity evenings. Number 10, get a smart meter. On average, people who have a smart meter are more likely to change their energy habits for the better. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you follow all the tips I've just shown, on average you're looking to save £1,207 per year, which will be a massive help in the cost of energy crisis. In the next video, I'll show you how you could buy a used electric car to save even more on your energy bills. Anyway, thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day.